I like to think that Don Phillips saw Jeremy London and was like, Jason, got a movie for us? I think we should come on in. And Jerry was he was just too nice of a guy to be yeah, I am Jason London. Why are you moving like that? Seems awkward.
Did you watch Dazed and Confused and you saw the guy touch his face all the time? Do you think that's acting?
I love that movie. I love your work in that. He just wrote his name down on the call sheet as Jay London.
Yeah, Jay London. It was like, oh yeah, we'll get him back in on this.
Well, hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
Yeah.
The excitement of walking down the aisles, browsing the names of the artwork, and finally picking out the movie you were going to take home with you. Sure, it's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your house, but there was something truly special about stepping out at a Blockbuster on the way home from the mall, picking a movie out by hand, taking it home to watch. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm your host, Mike Schulte, and joining me as always, two frequent shoppers at Rug Munchers. Shaun Pryor and AJ Vance, how the heck are you?
It's one of the best selections you can find in the area, in the Eden Prairie area.
Yeah. What do you think they sell at Rug Munchers?
Probably vacuum cleaners.
Vacuum cleaners.
Whoa,
I think it's
so?
vacuum cleaners.
I think, and I think their policy is if you don't like the rug, because they do sell rugs, that you can't.
You can buy rugs.
Right,
you can buy rugs. If you don't like the rug, you can take it back, and they literally have someone in the back that eats it for you.
Yeah. Well, touch not unless ye be touched.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta say, this is gonna be tough. I am filled with egg noodles and probably undercooked beef and pork.
Shaun, do not admit that at the beginning. Tell them how great, how you're feeling on top of the world. They need to watch and listen to this whole thing.
It's gonna be rough for me. No, I'm just kidding.
You should continue to tune in to see how Shaun evolves through this process.
I feel like the heaviest matter in the entire world.
He feels like the thing.
Okay, boys, I need you to fuck us.
Oh.
Because on this episode, we discuss the second movie of the View Askewniverse, which also happens to be the second lowest critically rated movie of the group. The best movie ever made about malls? A movie that accidentally picked the wrong London brother for the starring role. Our very first Kevin Smith movie offering. We're, of course, talking about 1995's Mallrats.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
It's
Holy
Wednesday
shit.
Morning. It's early. Way too early for you. You're probably sitting in traffic, like me. Why not have your coffee and bacon with the Confused Breakfast Boys? Good morning, boys.
Morning.
Damn, dang it.
Well, if you are new to this podcast, we will be reviewing the movie Mallrats with a modern eye, but in order to do that properly, we feel you have to talk about it nostalgically so that you can then strip it all away. So AJ's going to start. He's going to tell us the first time he saw this movie, what his nostalgic rating is.
I mentioned this before, Comedy Central. This is a Comedy Central thing. Mallrats,
late 90s,
yes, yep. Early 2000s, yes, Comedy Central movie feature, evening movie feature. Comedy Central presents Mallrats, and you're just so. I didn't understand it. I didn't know. I don't know if I feel like I'd probably seen Clerks at this point. I didn't really put it all together, but I just kept making little connections and kept getting a little bit more and more into the universe. And then slowly but surely, I think I just realized how much I wanted to be Brody. Yeah. Even though, you probably don't want to be. I wanted to be the smart guy who was interesting. And this is a jacket from when I was in high school.
So you bought that jacket in high school?
Oh, yes. It's from Old Navy.
So you basically did what I did for Slater in Dazed and Confused. I tried to dress like Slater in high school. You tried to dress like Brody.
I tried to dress like Brody.
Cool.
This is basically how I would have dressed in high school.
Okay.
That corduroy is. I think there's maybe a sailboat inside of that.
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet.
If you stare long enough, right here,
it's a schooner.
It's a schooner. You idiot. No. Anyways, Thought it was hilarious. It was kind of up there, and it piqued my interest as a younger high school kid, almost middle school maybe. But yeah, you know what? I'll give this nostalgically. I'm gonna give it a 7.9.
7.9er. How about the Shauner?
Yeah, I came to this movie kind of late. I definitely watched Clerks before this, and a lot of other Kevin Smith movies like Dogma and stuff. And then I just got to this randomly because I heard it was good. But I don't know. I think the aesthetic of it, like the comic booky aesthetic, wasn't like I wasn't into that at the time. And then I just finally watched it and it was like, oh well, this is just pure fun. But back then, I'd probably have to say, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna go 6.5.
6.5. So I saw this right when it came out. I would have been 13, 14 years old,
Okay.
and I was too young for it. Like I was just slightly too young to get what was happening. So it was like, oh yeah, this is funny. Like they're running through a mall, and I like malls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. So nostalgically, like I saw this and then sort of gave up on it, and then came back to it later on and said, oh, I get this. I had not seen Clerks at this point. I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah.
I don't understand what this movie is. So probably a 5 for me nostalgically. We have a brand new executive producer. His name is Starling. Welcome to the team, Starling.
Thanks,
Welcome.
man.
He is our newest executive producer, and he's talking about this episode nostalgically. He says, gentlemen, first of all, I cannot believe you're actually reviewing the movie Mallrats. Not because it's not worthy, but this means someone on this panel of illustrious gentlemen remembers loving this movie as much as I used to. I did not find this movie through the love of Clerks like others. I was a teen who went from watching Saved by the Bell, who graduated to 90210, but when Shannon Doherty left, so did I. This was her first big project after that, and I was in. On another podcast, you can argue that Renee is just a Jersey version of Brenda Walsh, but I loved this movie at the time. In college, I became the film committee chairman and wielded what little power I had to host a 3-movie event called Gen Extra. With an X.
I like it.
Weekend. So Gen Extra Weekend on Campus. I did this to bring my favorite movie of that time, Empire Records, onto the silver screen, and I packaged it with Mallrats and Chasing Amy, starring Gwen from Mallrats. Nostalgically, Mallrats was a solid 8 for me at the time. So, guys, nostalgic rating for us is a 6.85, which is pretty low. It's not too bad. It's actually tied with Explorers of any movie that we've done.
Really?
Nostalgic rating, just right there. It's number 50 roughly on
And
our
that was
list.
I've never seen, right?
That was an I've never seen. Correct.
Right.
Okay.
So then never mind. So then the next closest one being Karate Kid. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
All right.
I think I was a 10 on Karate Kid and you guys were like 4s. So that's why that rating is so low.
Yeah.
So in order to strip away this nostalgia now, we got to talk about the pertinent details of the movie. That's what it is now. Shaun, that's your job. Tell us everything you know, man.
All right. This is what I know because I found this out. Produced by Sean Daniel, James Jacks, and Scott Mosier. Cinematography by David Klein. He worked with Kevin Smith a lot. He also did Red State, which is great. Cop Out, which is not so great. Clerks, and he's done some episodes of The Mandalorian. Edited by Paul Dixon, who also edited Angels in the Outfield, which we probably will cover.
He's changing it. He always says will, and now all of a sudden he's going probably.
Probably.
Because when, like
legal action.
I put the exclamation in will most of the times because it's usually like a movie I'm like, we have to, or else I will leave the show.
Right.
We can go without. We can Angels in the
I don't
Outfield.
know. Maybe one of our producers will pick it. I don't know. You know what? Patreon's probably going to have a summer baseball vote at some point this year, so maybe they'll pick it.
There's a prop.
That's the
There's
probable.
a prop. Music by Ira Newborn and written and directed by Kevin Smith. Cast: Shannon Doherty, Jeremy London, Jason Lee, Claire Forlani, Ben Affleck, Joey Lauren Adams, Renee Humphrey, Ethan Suplee, Priscilla Barnes, Michael Rooker, Jason Mewes, and Stan Lee. After the surprise smash success of Clerks, producer James Jacks approached Kevin Smith and producing partner Scott Mosier about making their second feature for Universal Pictures. Big jump. Smith got to writing, and Mallrats was the product. So James Jacks produced, I think he produced along with Sean Daniel, Days of Confused and Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right.
Like it was just like all of that team, and as we'll get to the casting director
Same one from Days of
Same
Confused,
one from
right?
Days of Confused and Fast Times.
Oh, there you go.
So that's why you see a lot of familiar faces in this from Days of Confused. Adam Sandler and Steve Zahn were almost cast as Brody, but professional skateboarder Jason Lee came in and charmed everybody with his very specific line delivery. The studio did not want Jason Mewes for the role of Jay at all. Kind of a, from Dumb and Dumber.
Harry,
Jeff Daniels. Kind of that situation.
Can you explain this to me, though? I read that, and I don't understand it because he was in Clerks.
Yeah, I know.
And
So
this is the same. It's moving. I mean, we're having some of the same characters here. So why were they like, oh, yeah, we're just going to take that guy out of it and replace it with someone else?
It's because of big studios involved now. That Clerks was a independent hit.
So they're like, oh, people won't remember.
Exactly. So they're just like, so we need a name. We need a name for this funny character. So I think it was, Seth Green and Steve Vaughn?
Steve Zahn.
Oh, duh.
Steve Zahn.
They were like, well, Seth Green in particular were like on backup, like on call, like the situation with Jeff Daniels. They had just a random comedian on call if nothing worked out. But Kevin Smith did not back down and was like, no, Jay is Jay.
And what a move, too, because that, I don't know, for many people that saw Mallrats, like Jay and Silent Bob were like, it's it. Yeah. And then that went on to create the other movies. And so it's like, if that were Seth Green, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
No.
I guess in my opinion, I love Seth Green, but it just wouldn't have.
Well, yeah, it was. I think it was actually Seth Green and Breckin Meyer were on call for that, and they both went on to do Robot Chicken, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, great.
Mallrats was filmed in Minnesota at the Eden Prairie Mall. Smith wanted to film in his home state of New Jersey, but for tax incentive purposes, Universal wanted to move the production to Minnesota. The crew got the rights to film at the mall for $10,000 because just down the street, the Mall of America has just opened. Also down the street was the Coen brothers making the film Fargo.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of fun.
Well, good company.
The film was released on October 20th, 1995, and on a budget of $6.1 million, the film only made $2.1 million. As we will find out next in this next segment, the film was not received well at all, and that really messed with getting asses in the seats to see the damn thing. Over the years, Mallrats has gone on to be certified cult classic and has gained its audience 28 years later.
Well, we know you got that friend who loves this movie just as much as you do. Maybe a brother, sister, a buddy that you should always watch that with. Share this episode with them. Hit that icon on your podcast app. Directly text this episode over to them. Say, listen to it. Confused Breakfast is awesome. That is one of the best ways you can support this podcast. Check out everything you need to know from us, confusedbreakfast.com. We got ratings on there, t-shirts, stickers, mugs, all that. And if you are caught up and you're trying to find that way to support this podcast that is always free, this will be free forever, all this content. But if you want to support us, you go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. Join over 200 other people, basically the smartest people in the world, the coolest people in the world.
Essentially.
Yeah, they've got weekly bonus audio content there. There's voting on upcoming movies. There's a private Discord server, all that stuff. Go that. Sign up, patreon.com/confusedbreakfast.
Thank you all that have done that already. Thank you so much.
It's literally the best thing in the world. We love you. And up next, we got AJ, who did the research for us. He gets us the ratings, the reviews, all that from critics and fans alike. What do you got on this one, man?
The kid is back on the escalator again. The tomato meter. Gross. The mother has to deal with a bloodbath. 57% of the tomato meter.
Oh, no.
57 splat.
So that's number 60 on the list of all movies we have done. It is tied with The Cutting Edge and Top Gun.
Wow.
Okay.
Critically. Top Gun, like critics were like, I don't get it.
How did they get that remake?
Kevin Smith should have been proud then. He's like, hey, my film is just as good as Top Gun.
Yeah. I didn't have anybody shirtless like that.
Yeah.
So. But then he's also like, it's also just as good as The Cutting Edge.
Well, and I do like hockey.
Okay.
82% from audiences, they disagreed with the critics.
You said 82%?
82%.
Sorry.
So pretty well received. 7.0 on IMDb.
This seems like a pretty good movie.
As in case you're new to the podcast, pretty much every movie is rated a 7.0 on IMDb, and so we created that soundbite on the last time. This is the 12th movie that we have done that is rated 7.0
My God.
on IMDb. That is 13% of every movie we have done is ranked 7.0.
7.0.
Maybe we should start doing good movies. I guess.
These are good.
No, they are.
Yeah, well,
No, that's why we're here. We're here to dispel that bullshit information.
that's right. Well, San Francisco Chronicle, Peter Stack, 50 out of 100. He said a couple of things here. A couple of excerpts. Strains through buckets of verbiage and muddled plot to seize only a few dopey laughs. Plot elements sputter out amid all the chit-chat and half-baked gags. Overall, though, moviegoers can find much better deals than Mallrats.
Oh, I get it. It's like shopping.
Got it.
Love the smell
Made
of
up.
commerce in the morning.
I made a mall reference to Mallrats.
That's really great.
because I'm a critic who writes
Stack.
things. Yeah, why don't you go stack some blocks again, Peter? I don't know.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
We had it. It was going so well.
Hey, Jay, you fuck.
We're on a roll, man.
The Globe and Mail, Liam Lacey, 38 out of 100. Talky, crude, and sexist. Mallrats is significantly less funny. A flatulent sequel to the director's small start. And flatulent.
Your movie is flatulent.
That good?
Your movie is the equivalent of a fart. All
So
right.
funny.
It's funny. It's always funny, in fact. Never gets old.
My 6-month-old daughter farted the other day. I was like, this is the funniest moment of my entire
That's hilarious.
life.
I met AJ's son last night, Harrison. He farted in my arms.
Yeah.
It's the most proud I've ever been.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of a heartwarming and lap-warming moment for
Yes.
us, you know. So,
Farts are funny.
Los Angeles Times, Kenneth Durant, 10 out of 100.
Wow.
Just say 1 out of 10. Why do we got to do this?
Wait, no. This is 100 out of 1,000.
This is 100 out of 1,000.
Whoa, this is my scale. Remember, I'm the professional.
I give this movie 1,000 out of 10,000.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, I give this 1 million out of 100 million.
1 million out of 1 billion. Dude,
Oh my God.
I give it 1 million out of
we
1
can
billion.
keep going. We can go all day, I think. I give this 1 out of pi.
I give this a baby fart out of infinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the galaxy. Baby fart compared to the sun. I don't know what. It's all gas.
God damn.
I got deep. Hey, I'd like to welcome anyone here
going.
that's here from TikTok. Our shadow ban is complete. And
We're
it's
out of
good.
jail.
We're out of shadow ban jail 6 months later. Now all of a sudden everybody likes us again.
Yeah.
It's
And
more or less how we got this audience, so we're stoked to be
so
back.
welcome new people and keep listening, I swear.
Like we said. So, Kenneth Turin, 1 million out of 1 billion. Los Angeles Times. A numbing, dispiriting experience aimed at the least discriminating parts of the teenage audience. Great.
Okay.
Are
there any good reviews?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to get to them. Let me give you a couple. So here's a 10 out of 10. This is a really great movie, period. One of my favorites. This is a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
From Scooby, 17.
Scooby!
In 1998. Scooby! Scooby! You ever see a little dog around here?
That was really quick.
Thank you.
This is the best movie ever made. It is funny and compassionate. Comedy, and in its own way, a true love story. Sequel to Clerks and Chasing Amy, a must-see movie. Smiley face.
Wait, sequel to Clerks and Chasing Amy?
Yeah, some people, that's what
Chasing
he
Amy's
said.
after.
In
Yeah.
the universe, it could be
Oh, I see.
mixed up.
Yeah.
You know what
Okay,
I mean?
got you. But if you're talking about straight out of the gates,
Right.
like time-wise, Mallrats was before Chasing Amy.
Yes.
Right.
So this guy's an idiot. Okay.
You got it.
Gotcha.
Rocky Pete gave it a 10 out of 10. He said it was a great review. He complimented his own review and said, great review, as the title.
Must read. Top tier shit.
This is one of the funniest movies I have ever seen. I feel that actor Jason Lee steals the show in this movie.
Yeah.
He is one of my favorite young actors.
When was this written?
Good stuff.
1998.
Okay,
All right,
good.
cool.
I thought this was like last year.
I think he's a real up-and-comer.
What's them all?
Yeah.
All right, I got this. Okay, I want to do this because this is a 1 out of 10. Horse dung, said Ernie Munger in 2006. Boring, stupid, and not remotely funny U.S. teen. Dung. It's hard to believe that Kevin Smith was hailed as an indie director, unless the etiquette applies exclusively to films that make a point of scraping the bottom of the barrel. The Weinsteins certainly deserve Guantanamo for hyping this sort of self-indulging manure. And the IMDb rating for this anal regressive bomb would seem to indicate that a long, dry fart in a mall would do more for most American publics. If anything, Smith is the Osama bin Laden of film. Run for cover.
Wow. I feel like with all like the dung and poop references and fart references, a person named Ernie Munger probably works a lot with shit.
Yeah.
Like he works at a sanitation plant or something.
Yeah. Right next to Felix Unger.
Yeah.
Curmudgeon. Okay, 10 out of 10. Last one for you guys. Better than bad. It's good. It's a 10 out of 10. 99. Right. In 99, Matt, 23, real original, said this. My God, what a cool movie. I guess the best way I can describe it would be almost on par with Wayne's World. Funnier than Wayne's World, too.
Okay.
But the movies have only the slightest similarities. The story in Mallrats is a little less inane, and the characters really are characters. Technically, it's a better movie. But as a result, it sacrifices some of that gloriously inane humor that it could easily have had. Still, I give it a 9. No, you gave it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
It made me laugh, cry, and hurl. I'll never shake hands with anyone ever again. And that's about all you could ever ask for. Oh, thought I should just mention the dialogue. Damn, it was good. Laconic, hilarious, right on the frickin' mark, my friend. See it. And also go see Clerks, Chasing Amy, and Dogma.
Lacaic?
I want to see... Laconic?
Huh.
Iconic?
Nope, laconic, Mike.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, we'll look that up, I promise.
So yeah, he laughed, cried, and hurled during this movie.
Cool.
He cried.
Good job.
All right.
Matt, right?
Matt 23.
Matt 23.
Graduated high school in 23. Congrats, Matt.
did
Before
it.
we get started on the scene-by-scene breakdown of this amazing movie, it's time to talk about our friends and incredible sponsor and supporter of this podcast, Cedar Ridge Whiskey. We talk a lot about the bourbon, the single malt, the Slipknot collaboration.
Fuck yeah, dude. 666-555.
515.
I just got
whatever.
Iowa on vinyl, and I'm stoked about it.
But we do not talk as much about their rye.
I'm sorry.
I am a rye guy for sure. Kind of wish my name was Ryan.
No.
Just keep going.
Bourbon is all the rage in the world, but I think too many people are sleeping on rye. I love the spiciness of Cedar Ridge's straight rye, 86% proof, aged a minimum of 3 years. It's won multiple awards over the years, and I think you guys should try it if you like a little bit more burn in the whiskey. You know, just want to switch up your old fashioned a little bit.
Yeah, Ryan.
Cedar Ridge rye. Ryan. Do you know how you spell it? Ryen. Yeah, of course. So it's not funny. We want you guys to head straight to your liquor store to buy it. If they don't have it, yell at them for being stupid, but then say you're sorry, politely leave. Head straight to a computer to type in Cedar Ridge Whiskey, cedarridgewhiskey.com, and order it right straight to your door. Stop by their website, add them on social media, say hello, tell them Confused Breakfast sent you, stop out and see them in Swisher. I mean, you have to grab a bottle of this. Trust us. It's the best. Drink responsibly. CedarRidgeWhiskey.com.
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 That's a big glass. Oh, because you put ginger ale in there. Cool. Well, boys, our girlfriends just dumped us.
Damn it.
And our lives are in shambles. It's time to turn off the video game and jump into our station wagon and head to the mall to win them back. Because it's mall or nothing. Snoochie Boochies.
Snoochie Boochies.
Here we go. So T.S. Quint arrives at his girlfriend Brandy's house to pick her up for a trip to Florida. She meets him in the driveway and tells him she won't be able to go, which ends in a serious argument. Meanwhile, in the basement of his mom's house, T.S.'s best friend Brody is woken by his girlfriend Renee, who breaks up with him. T.S. goes to Brody's house and they decide to go to the local mall and hang out.
It's a hell of a speech to open up with. But I love opening up with this. It's just like, what the fuck movie is this? And then credits.
And you're like, did we actually, like, oh shoot, did I start it at the wrong point?
Right.
Am I at the end of the movie? No, it's the beginning.
And this is the airplane story that he tells later?
I think so. No, it's a different story.
It's a different one?
Yes.
Okay.
2 different random stories about his uncle.
I love them. They're super fun.
Cousin Walt or something like that is what a cat. I don't know. My cousin was a weird guy.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Opening credits.
Well, and then they start with, this is how you know this movie is 90s. Like peak mid 90s, where it's just like, here's a really shitty band that you've never heard of that's playing edgy punk music, but it's like kind of poppy because that's kind of cool right now.
Yeah.
And you'll never hear from him again because this song is terrible. Here's a bunch of shit on the screen. Get through the credits.
Yeah.
It's basically Biodome's intro.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. I that's the one thing I hate about going back through these 90s movies is just they don't care at all sometimes when it comes to soundtracks.
It's like
in 90s movies.
Yeah, it's like an unrefined, like what they started doing for teen movies like American Pie.
Yes.
It's like an unrefined version of that. This is like the precursor.
That is a great way to put it, because like American Pie nailed the soundtrack.
Right.
But like this is like
whatever.
Music-wise, for sure, I agree with you. But I was gonna say in your nostalgic, like your ramblings about your nostalgic watch of this,
yes,
that this is like the refined American Pie. This movie, because like as soon as like they start talking, it's very intellectual.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big words. And
that's true.
I really love the dialogue a lot. And you know, sometimes the way it's delivered, you can see, especially with, I think it's Jeremy London.
This is
Jeremy
London.
Very hard to decipher.
Yeah.
Between
they're twins.
this and Jason. But yeah, you can kind of see him slip up here and there, just because you know it's a lot of dialogue and it's a lot to get through.
And because he's the lesser actor of the two.
Right.
It's funny. Well, and just my last thing on that little intro is like they tell the story. They do this wild intro stuff and show the stores and do all the stuff on the. It's like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like running your hand down the piano board to just clear out whatever you had in your head, and you're just like, okay, I could just start fresh now. Now we've got a movie. And let's watch him drive up and everything.
Yeah.
Jeremy London, though, is one of those people, like, he was supposed to be the actor of the two. And I think Jason London got the first part and probably did more stuff.
Yeah.
So because Jason's Dazed and Confused and our upcoming Out Cold,
right.
That was Jason.
Jason.
That's Jason.
He's clearly a better actor, in my opinion. Like, that is one of the things that sticks with me in this movie is Jeremy's probably the worst actor of this entire movie.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and it's not really knocking. He does the job. I think he
gets it done.
I think he does the job. There's a lot to handle, or like I said, a lot of dialogue, a lot of kind of more intelligent while also being slapstick farty dialogue. You know, it's probably pretty hard to do. A lot of kind of long takes as well. So he does service it. But you can tell like the way he's delivering it is just not quite as good as anybody else.
And his physical presence too. Like, I am a terrible actor. If you were to be like, okay, let's get Mike and like, I would be him. Where I would like almost be trying. You know what? He breaks up with Brandy, or is it Brandy? Yeah, breaks up with Brandy. Yes. And he like, she goes inside and he just goes, like he does this weird physical movement that you would never do in real life, but he thought it was needed to show how angry he was.
Yeah.
And that's how I would act, and I know I'm not a good actor, so I can recognize my own kind, essentially.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's just motions that just aren't natural, and even and he has a tough time, I think, maybe delivering some of this Kevin Smith dialogue.
Correct.
A lot of these things you almost just wish it was just Jason Mewes saying again.
Yeah.
Because Jason Mewes doesn't come across as like a smart person or character in these movies, right? But his way of delivering dialogue is one of my favorite parts of this.
It's so his own.
Yeah,
you know,
100%. And
I can't imagine anybody else doing. Sorry.
No, you're good. I agree with you. And Jason Lee, I think, also does a good job of delivering lines.
Yes.
for the most part.
He's the best, I think, at delivering lines. I couldn't believe this was his first role.
Incredible. Yeah, I think he just retired from
He's a professional skateboarder.
professional
pro
skateboarder.
Who the fuck knew that?
I got the
Crazy.
Arrow release of the Blu-ray of this for Christmas. And going through all the special features, it's a great release. Go get it if you don't have it. But he was kind of describing, Kevin Smith was describing, he's like, yeah, this kid came in, he was ex-professional skateboarder, retired professional. I'm like, retired professional skateboarder? Is he like fucking 52 years old?
No.
And he like came in and he started doing the lines, and he said that he just charmed everybody in the room, and he's like, I have to give it to this guy.
Well, did you hear this? So casting director Don Phillips was asked if he'd do a favor for talent manager Gay Ribisi, who is the mother to Giovanni
Yes.
Ribisi. The request involved meeting the boyfriend of Marissa Ribisi, Dazed and Confused.
Yep.
Boy, I love the redheads.
Yeah.
Meeting Marissa Ribisi's boyfriend, who had just retired from professional skateboarding to act. Boyfriend turned out to be Jason Lee.
Oh my gosh.
And there it was. Like, he literally walked in and it was like, yeah, that's me.
Well,
it's a borderline another Matthew McConaughey story.
Exactly.
Yes.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
Don Phillips has this way with like kind of non-actors that he just sees this character in people. He's like, you are perfect for this.
Yeah. I like to think that Don Phillips saw Jeremy London and was like, Jason, got a movie for us? I think we should come on in. And Jerry's just, he was just too nice of a
Yes.
guy to be
Yes,
like, yeah, I am Jason London. Why are you moving like that? Seems awkward.
Did you watch Dazed and Confused and you saw the guy touch his face all the
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Do you think that's acting?
That's
I
not
love that
good.
movie. I love your work in that. he just wrote his name down on the call sheet as Jay London.
Yeah, Jay London was like, oh, yeah, we'll get him back in on this.
I had a thought, too, watching this about Jason Lee, like how he was like the original Ryan Reynolds.
Kind
In
of.
a way, where he's like this very smart, fast-talking, knowledgeable
true.
person.
Right.
That he just never, this is pre-Ryan Reynolds, he just didn't kind of take that same trajectory. I mean, Jason Lee did a lot of great stuff, but he never went to the Ryan Reynolds acclaim. But they're kind of like the same guy, just different generations.
I see that.
Yeah.
It's like a less refined whatever Ryan Reynolds is doing or was doing.
Yeah.
You know, you're right, 100%.
I love Michael Rooker in this so much. Walking Dead fame, but they James Jacks had just produced Tombstone and was on set with Michael Rooker, who has a small part in that. And while casting, he's like, oh, I have a friend, Michael Rooker, who might want to play this role. And Kevin Smith's like, Henry from Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, which is an awesome horror movie. He's like, yeah, I'll take him. And so he's, to just differentiate from like all of his other characters, he's kind of got like curly hair in a lot of his other movies. He shaved his head bald, and then he looked like Lex Luthor. And he's like, oh, well, perfect. That fits this comic book aesthetic perfectly. You're in the movie. I love him in this.
And his opening scene is him coming out of the shower and doing karate in the room.
I do the same
think you
thing.
see a little tip of dong in there too.
You think so?
I think you see a little tip hanging down.
You think, because I like that he comes out, it's like, is your dad in there? Your father in there? And then it cuts to him doing that, and he does like the punching and karate and stuff, and then it's like, you're just being such an ass. And it cuts back to him, and the towel falls off, you see his ass.
I do the
just love
same
it.
thing when I get out of the shower, but I don't look like a man that's like a slimy, weird, bald man. I look like an oaf who's filled with soup.
You don't look like you are.
Filled with soup.
Yeah,
You don't look like a well-fed man who just got out of the Matrix pod. You look like
yeah.
you
You look like an oaf filled with soup.
you look like an oaf
Unfortunately.
filled with soup.
It's funny how I love going back in time when video games were a thing and then seeing how much graphics have changed in video games from then to now. But, as much as that has changed in the video game world from 95 till now,
Yeah.
there is still boys getting dumped by girlfriends for playing too much video games.
Oh, yeah.
It is still a thing. It will never go away.
And
You
it's
cannot give it up.
12-2 is the score on this.
I love that.
The whale only beats the Oilers
Hartford?
once or twice in a generation. The whale?
I love that because you promised me breakfast. It's like it's 12-2 in the second. This never happens. It's like you're controlling it. It's like, and instead of being like, oh, this will be a blowout, that's awesome. No, you
You have to keep
you
going.
have to keep going.
You have to finish this game.
Did you is that one of those things? I can't remember on Sega, or I don't know for that game. Can you save?
I looked it up. They're talking that game is not from Sega. Somebody said there's no definitive answer on this.
Okay,
it's supposed to be a Sega game, but somebody said it was actually maybe Sega Saturn. That it was like an upcoming graphic game that had not been released yet,
Gotcha.
but it was pinned as like a Sega Genesis game. So who knows? I don't think you could save many of those games.
Yeah.
He clearly did something. He started in the middle of the game.
Right.
So something was paused or saved.
You just leave it on pause. I mean, that's what we would do when we could.
Yeah.
My dad wanted to like watch something, so we'd just turn it off of channel 3 or whatever.
Yep. Leave it paused.
And then you leave it paused, and you just hope nothing bumps or touches that that system. That's what you do.
I love he's got a Tremors poster in his room. His room is badass.
I thought that was gonna be your prop, man.
Oh, I can get that in.
This room is very, very much. It's got some very similar features to like when I was in like high school and stuff. Because my room had like 3 walls that were wood panel, and then 1 wall that was just a big cork board down in the it was down in the basement. It was all cork, so you could put like pins into it and stuff like that, and hang posters really easily. Speaking of hanging things, any prop?
Oh yeah, you want that?
Yeah.
Ooh, here's a prop.
I want the framed breakup
No,
letter.
that's what I wanted.
Oh,
That's what I was gonna do. That's not cool, man.
I'm
I
sorry.
was letting your stupid speech get done so that I could hit the button.
I know.
God.
I want
That's how
Silent
you
Bob's
do it.
helmet, Batman helmet.
Oh, dang, that's a good one. Mike wants the
All right.
finger vibrator thing.
I kind of did. I kind of thought that'd be cool.
You want the chocolate pretzel?
I kind of wanted that too. I want. We'll get to it later and talk about it more. But I want the 3D magic eye with the sailboat. I want it on
nice.
the wall. The 3D magic eye. We'll
That's
talk
great.
more about that later. For
well
sure.
played.
Yeah,
Well played.
absolutely.
What do you guys think about Shannon Doherty in this?
She's good.
Well, because she's think about it.
about
She's essentially. I didn't realize this at the time, but she's the main attraction.
She's
Yeah.
kind of a big. She's a big star right
Look-
now.
look
Front and center on the poster
That's
and
what
everything.
I'm saying. She's right. She's literally. She's not even a main character, really, but she's just like bam. Her face is on the poster, then it goes back
Yeah.
to like Brody and TS, and then it goes back even further to Jay and Silent Bob.
Mhm.
It's kind of unique because if you think about what her career was, she was on 90210, which she had just left in like late '94. And then this was her first big role. And
Okay.
sometimes I think she's great. I really like her delivery of this super serious speech as she's like moving a desk to climb out of the basement.
I know.
It's a really cool juxtaposition there. I like when she's really yelling at him, but then sometimes it's just kind of like, yeah, okay, you're okay.
Yeah.
You came from an okay television acting role kind of a thing,
Right.
To the big leagues.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she services it kind of like Jeremy London does. You
Yeah.
know, it's a good role, and I read like the reason like she changes her outfits so much in the movies because one of her clauses in her contract was she could keep every bit of clothing that she got from the movie,
Oh, really?
and so she changed all the time. And
As
that
if
was
she
just like,
didn't have a lot of money.
yeah, and
What
so
the
that was
hell?
like her thing, I guess.
She's gonna sell it on eBay.
I don't know.
Coming up later on. That's just what
Coming up.
Yeah. This internet boom is gonna happen.
I like when the friends get together, Brody and TS. I like their dialogue. I think they're great. The chemistry is amazing. I like them as friends a lot, and I love how he was going to propose to her at the Jaws ride.
Right.
That would be fucking amazing.
I thought you were gonna.
I did it in a parking lot in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
I thought it's what you were gonna do, man.
I should have watched this movie before I did it.
You're engaged?
Yeah.
Hey.
What's all this 1 in a million talk?
Hell yeah, we got this.
Cheers.
We got it.
All
We got
right.
it.
Hey, Sean's engaged. Yay!
Hey.
Actually, yeah, but your
What in a
fiance would have been
million
like, "What the fuck?" Getting engaged on the Jaws ride, but we're like, "That's the most romantic thing I've ever heard."
That's awesome.
Well, wish I was proposing to you.
Yeah.
Dude, you're right. I do buy their friendship though.
Yeah.
Like I do buy that they are actually having the dialogue that two friends would have.
Yeah.
And that's maybe a Kevin Smith thing is that he does write that's what the appeal to him is like sometimes the words that are being said is like that's what me and my friends how we would have talked to each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like intellectual dummies.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I see it.
You're the master of your domain, and I think that's what Kevin Smith does so well is create this like Brody is the master of his domain, even though it doesn't matter to probably anybody else, right? But he's everybody knows him at the mall. He's got all of his comic books and his vinyl and his video games and stuff like that downstairs. Like, he's the master of his little world. And Kevin Smith strikes me as that same person.
Definitely.
And I think that's he writes that stuff so well, and that he writes that dialogue that you always think that you say smarter things with your friends.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
why people always say, we should just have like our own TV show. We should start a podcast.
No, it'd be great. Like people will probably just tune in and just basically listen to us do inside jokes all the time.
Yeah.
This will be awesome.
Man, you know, traffic was kind of weird today. I couldn't find a parking spot getting here.
Damn.
Yeah.
Here's a joke.
I'm Shaun.
Judy. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I think he does this so well, and that's why I tune in for Kevin Smith movie at any point is his dialogue. I don't know how much we've talked about that yet, but that's why I tune in for Kevin Smith.
Definitely.
Well, scene 2, T.S. and Brody arrive at the mall and find out that Brandy's father is going to be recording his TV dating show there today. They decide to sabotage the event and enlist the help of the mall's resident troublemakers, Jay and Silent Bob. Though they draw up the intricate blueprinted plans for their missions, they are thwarted every time by mall cop LaFleurs.
You guys remember, going to malls was the solution to problems and also a place to shop. And a place to hang out.
It was everything.
It was everything.
So Shaun, I do want to ask you this. If you think about movies that were in malls, this one's going to be at the top of a lot of people's list, but can you think of a couple other good ones? I got a list of like maybe my top 7, 8 mall movies kind of a thing.
I can only think of like scenes, and there are movies that we've covered, Terminator 2 and Billie Jean. I can't really think of movies basically based entirely at a mall.
There's one you're forgetting, and you're going to be like, when I say it, I'll leave it for last.
Okay.
Jackie Brown does have a lot of mall scenes there.
Sure.
T2, definitely Fast Times, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Bill and Ted's, the mall scene in Bill and Ted's is one of the best.
Yeah.
Bad Santa, obviously. I think overall Mallrats is either number 1 or number 2 because of it has the majority of it in a mall. But the other one being Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
It's literally almost 90% of the movie is in a mall. And many people would flip those two maybe and say Dawn of the Dead's the number 1 mall movie.
Yeah, probably. That's what that movie's about, is the commercialism and just us being zombies to commercialism pretty much.
Don't forget, I mean, it's certainly, we don't want to, I mean, I know it's a little out of our realm, but who could forget Paul Blart?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Great.
It's just...
And Paul Blart, too.
One, there's 2 of them. Why aren't they on that list is beyond me.
Paul Blart got a sequel and Mallrats didn't, guys.
Well, they're working on a Mallrats
okay.
sequel.
All right. Great.
They're taking their time on it. They're not just shitting one out.
They're not just blarting one out.
What in the world is on Brody's shirt?
I got it.
But I want to tell me what it is, and then I want to rebuttal it.
Tell us what
I've heard, because it looks like an album cover. It looks like a refused album cover.
No, it looks like a Ben Harper album cover. It looks like Ben Harper's face, the singer.
Yeah.
Which is what I've always thought it was until you're going to say what you said.
Apparently, it's an amalgamation of all of the actors who auditioned to play Brody. And it's like, what?
But how is that a thing? Like, I've never heard that confirmed. I've heard that rumor.
Yeah.
But like, how did they go? Okay, hey wardrobe, get on your Photoshop machine and take all these faces and make it go blurp and then make a face and print it out. Isn't that because like?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is a really cool shirt.
Awesome.
Like
I almost bought it for this since I knew I had the jacket. I almost bought it, but I decided I looked out. It was like Thursday. I was like, it's not going to get here in time.
I do want it. Like it is
cool.
a cool shirt. Like it looks like a band.
It does.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, what is that shirt? I looked it up. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Excuse me, huh?
It just might as well have like Nirvana.
Exactly.
Over the top of it or something, or it's like it's the B-sides of Nevermind or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Do you guys remember the 3D Magic Eye photos?
Yes, I do, and they were in every single doctor's office.
I can't do them, man.
You still can't do them?
I can't do them.
It takes me way too long.
I went online. This reminded me of it. I used to have books of them, and like, because this is in the era of like, what do we get Mike? He's 12.
I did. I got Where's Waldo books.
Yes, right. So they'd give us, and I did finally. It took me forever, but I finally learned like the secret of finding them. And so I remember, I'm like, oh shit. I went online and went on Google. I'm like, show me something. And I could do it again. Just like you're supposed to just basically, like they're saying, just relax and sort of look through the photo and like relax your eyes. If you need to, get really close to it and then slowly pull your face away. But I could see them.
Just go cross-eyed, bro.
I could totally see them, man.
I can't go cross-eyed. This is me going cross-eyed.
Yep, that's not it. Yep. You're trying, though.
Those Felix Grays are keeping you from going cross-eyed.
Man, I need to work out. That's what I need to do.
So I had two things. Willam is just standing there. Ethan Suppley.
Yep.
And number one, I didn't realize this is where you guys got the name for Willa. That's awesome.
Cool.
What a deep cut, bro.
Same. That's why I picked this movie, man.
So Willam is though he just got back from playing paintball. Did you guys realize it? Like, he's just got stains all over him.
Yeah, he sure does.
Like he just got done eating burgers with Harry and Lloyd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has just stains all over him, and all I could think of was like, it looks like he just got done playing like paintball.
Yeah.
And then he came to the mall with his sack lunch.
It's like a military jacket too, or something.
Yeah.
I think it says Marines on it. Or
I
something.
can see that.
It's just stains everywhere. It was just this thing eating at me every time he was on screen, and I just wondered if you guys noticed it at all.
Oh,
if
yeah.
that was just me being critical.
Just greasy
Yeah.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's not like that anymore.
No.
Which is crazy.
I love Ethan Suppley.
He's great.
This was
Oh,
his
yeah.
first role.
Was it
his
really?
first main movie role.
Wow.
And then he went on to so much. Like, I love everything. He's such a dynamic, something about his eyes and his face. It's just like he kind of commands the screen when he's on there. Like, pay attention to me or I'm going to beat your ass kind of a thing.
Yeah,
was his personality for a long time.
He did Boy Meets World. That's where I knew him from mostly. And then Blow was
Yeah.
like the movie. I was like, oh, shit. Ethan Suppley's in this?
Yeah.
Remember the Titans.
Oh, okay.
Remember the
Yeah.
He
That
was
was a
in a
big
ton.
one.
Butterfly Effect. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, tons of movies. He's great, and I really like his just. This is his point in the movie, is just to make this joke for the rest of the movie.
It's great. I love him at the very end. You know, when they do the credit, right? And it's just like Willam eventually sees the sailboat. He's just like, really? This thing is so funny.
So we get Jay and Silent Bob. I love how the pet shop just says gerbils, like a fucking strip club or something.
Because I feel like it's referencing the story from the beginning too.
Oh, sure.
Oh shit! Yeah, it probably is.
The kittens, and then just says gerbils.
It's automatic instant laugh for me the minute that they're like. I do remember thinking like that I didn't really like Jay and Silent Bob when I first watched it. I was just like, I don't get it. Like, why does he talk weird? You know? But then the older you get, the more you're just like, this is cool. This I don't know why it's just so funny to me the way he talks, and he's like mosh pitting against him.
Yeah.
The subtle dick tap when he leaves when
Right.
he walks away.
For TS.
Never noticed it. He hits them both, doesn't he?
Or does he hit him up?
He just dick taps him. I'm like, I never noticed that before.
It's so good. I love how Silent Bob is trying to do the Jedi mind trick with these. Quit that shit out.
Yeah. Quit that shit, man. He's just like skating around, just sliding around.
The guy you want
Show
to
some
be.
love to the kittens, Silent Bob.
So what he's doing now is the adamantium berserker attack when Logan
Showing.
number 13 or whatever.
Yeah. Call me. Yeah. What should I just call you, Logan? No, Wolverine. It's like, it's the same guy, but it's okay.
I love how they're describing the Superman scenario, like he can't get Lois Lane pregnant.
Yeah.
Right.
And he brings up he need a kryptonite condom, and that would kill him.
That'd kill
And
him.
I'm like, kryptonite condom is a fucking punk band name. I want that so bad.
Time out. There's gotta be there.
We just get further into. I love how they establish these characters, and I love them right away. And you're just watching characters hang out in the mall.
It's true. Like, this is why I say it takes me back to Brody is the master of his domain, the mall. That's not. It's like the cookie stand isn't a part of the food court. It's like, yes, it is. It's no, it's not. It's on the second floor. Everything has to be down there. Like on the first floor for the food court, everything else is a standalone eatery, like snacking eatery, like stuff like that. He's just defined his own rules, and he's just become the master of this place, even though, like, for him, just for him. It doesn't matter for anybody else.
It's really weird, too, that you can see this social place, this social network, really, that it's like it is visible.
Mhm.
Whereas this is now Facebook and Instagram and everything. You know,
Right.
you don't go to malls to see your friends, to meet up with your friends. You just message them on an instant messenger. And it's just like, you know, as we say, not a phone in sight, but
Not
like
phone in sight.
it was really magical kind of, you know, to go to the comic shop and see the weird dude that was hanging out or something. It was really cool.
Run into them, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Inject malls into my veins. I've said it before. I don't know. It's a simpler time, man, and it makes us sound like the old guys. Like, oh, man, I remember when we used to go to malls. And it's like, it's gonna be so hard for me to explain to Willa what a mall was, and that I actually went there. And she's like, I don't get it. Like, why would you go there and waste all that time?
Why would you go there when you could just simply buy everything on their online stores?
Correct.
The internet is a mall.
Yeah.
So why would I go
internet is a
to
mall.
a physical place? Why do I want to go to the physical internet and deal with all of their BS? I don't know.
It's going to be hard for me to explain to Willa and Harrison that, you know, Superman can't get Lois Lane pregnant or it'll
Right.
kill her.
I know.
It's going to be really hard for me.
Dad, is it true what Shaun said? Like, what did Shaun tell you? God damn it.
Oh, no.
Son of a...
It could be anything.
Could be anything.
Hey, Willa, child is the thing at the end.
No, that's not what my dad said. The comic book, when he finally does go to the comic book store and there's like the line and they can't get in, it's an hour-long wait. That reminded me 1,000,000% of a scene from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh.
Something
sure.
about that, just those little interactions, like, hey, fuck you too, man. Like
Escalates quickly.
the
and
camera moving back and forth, and like everyone's shoving each other.
Yeah.
It's like a Mr. Leahy Ricky thing in Trailer Park Boys, and Randy popping in and like, hey, you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. I wish I would have looked it up. I was just thinking about it on my drive over here. What came first? I'm assuming this probably came first before Trailer Park Boys.
I have to assume.
think so.
Actually, and at this point, I don't even remember. I've seen everything from the series, but I don't know when it started.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole scene made me laugh because it just felt like this out of control, weird moment, like Trailer Park Boys style. You know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It kind of also reminds me of another spot of Dazed and Confused, like the fight that happens between Mike and what's his name? Well, Nicky Katz or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kind of a similar vibe there, but because I actually like the way that stuff is shot because it's not perfect. You know, you have people's backs to you who are in the conversation, things like that. Normally, that doesn't really happen. They change camera angles to, you know, make sure the people who are talking are a focal point and that kind of stuff. It's very hectic, like you say,
Yeah.
and I love that. It just escalates so fast. It's just like, he gets so mad about it.
Stan Lee signing comics. Stan Lee signing comics?
Yeah,
It's the Godfather.
exactly.
Yeah. Ben Affleck.
Get him, Steve Dave.
Yeah, Steve Dave.
What about? I mean, this is cringe now, and I still feel like it would have been cringe back then, but I don't remember. You know, I didn't realize what was going on in this. The 15-year-old dating 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's obviously like, what the fuck now? But even back then, it was like, wouldn't that have been a big deal? Like, isn't
Why
that
aren't people more mad about this?
why can't she just be 18?
Yeah, I don't know.
What does this have to do with anything? This is just like, I just kind of went, what the? I just kind of, this is gross.
Makes you feel weird. You're watching this unfold and like all these little things are coming to light and you're like, that's not normal.
And you
Why are
filmed
people
it?
talking about this being normal? Like it's normal.
It seems like it's just there to like get Shannon at the end.
Mm.
You know what
That's
I mean?
the only reason that this is a thing.
I guess
We have to set this
there
up.
could have been anything else though.
She said like she got an advance from the publishers
Mhm.
and stuff, like a $20,000
Oh,
advance.
yeah, what?
So
Like-
they're into it.
So now, how is this like not even weird prostitution,
Yeah.
child ring
Yeah,
stuff?
keep going.
It's
Get
terrible.
like 30 more guys for your book.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Make sure they're over 27.
We'll pay you
We'll
to
give you
do
money.
this. What?
It's
I don't like it.
it's weird. Even calling her Trish the Dish, like having a name for it too. It's just like that's a 15.
Yeah.
Was she 15?
Why does Brody know her so well? I don't like that.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah.
She just hangs out in the mall that much. I don't know.
I think
don't like
I
it,
think he
guys.
does. You see that?
Well,
You
does
see
she?
that? You see that
Gotta
Sam
pick up
Goody
guys
behind him,
somewhere.
though?
Yeah, that's right.
Sam Goody, like,
Oh, man.
exploded my memories of just going to the mall. That was the number one store that you went into.
Yeah.
Not that you're necessarily walking away with stuff because it's pretty expensive, but that was where you went to just start, like, browsing through CD covers or vinyl covers and just be like, oh, what is this? Like, I never even heard of this band before. It was pre-Spotify, Apple Music way to, like, find an interesting looking album cover and go, I think I'll buy this.
I remember it was Suncoast, which was like the movie store.
Ah,
and
dude.
You bought movies, and they had like toys and stuff in there as well. And then if they didn't have whatever I was looking for, I went to Sam Goody. And they were like sister stores because I was in with the owner.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
you're
like,
in
here
with
comes
the
that
other
Shaun guy.
Yeah.
Oh God, here he comes.
Here he goes. He's got his trench coat on.
Anything could happen.
Is that trench coat? I think that's trench coat.
I think that's old trench.
Oh, it's trench.
Do you have Dead Alive? No. That's a shame.
Dang it!
That's a damn shame.
Why'd you tell him no, man? We could have figured something out. Ugh. Dang it! I'm not gonna see him again this week.
Did you also think that the escalator thing, did you think that was a male? Like, they show the pant legs, the kid sitting on the escalator, and he gets all worked up about it. It's like, kept saying she, like, the mom should know better. It was clearly like a dude with pants on and, like, dress shoes.
Oh, I don't know.
Was it?
It was
Am I
the
weird in
90s,
thinking
so-
that? Yeah, maybe
I thought
that
I
was,
saw- I
maybe
thought
it
I
was more
saw the
pantsuit. They never show a face.
They never do.
They just show from, like, the knees down
I
when they're
could've
showing the kid
sworn.
going up the escalator.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
And isn't that during the comic book thing when they're like, "Oh my God, a kid got sucked up"?
Yeah.
You can like hear it in the background over the loudspeaker.
Yes, I like those jokes, and I love how he kind of ties those back around. Normally, I don't think if it wasn't Kevin Smith, he wouldn't make it such a big deal,
Yeah.
or like a character making it such a big deal. He says it 3 different times during this conversation that they're having. Of like, that kid is back on the escalator again, and just freaking out about
Like
it.
it's not even funny.
No, it's not that funny about it. I don't know. It's kind of silly, and then he brings it back around to tie it all in. Yeah, it's fun.
All right, so Brody and TS try to reconcile with their respective former girlfriends. Renee is being schmoozed by the general manager of a mall men's store, Shannon. Brody manages to get Renee alone in the elevator, and following a heated argument, they have sex, but Renee doesn't take him back. When Shannon finds out, he takes Brody into the back corridor of the mall and beats him up. What's up with that?
Nice. So O'Banion's back.
Banyan.
He's basically playing the same character, just a more sleazy, I guess.
Right.
But I guess he's good in this. You know, I like him as a bully. He was like reticent to take this movie because he's playing a bully again. Coming
that's
off
true.
of Dazed and Confused. And apparently when he went in to audition for Kevin Smith had just read that him and Matt Damon had sold Good Will Hunting for like $800,000.
They had just done that.
Just sold it. And he was asking Ben Affleck, he's like, why are you coming in here, man? Didn't you just sell a script for like $1 billion, a whole bunch of money or whatever? And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I just read in the trades that you just sold a huge script. And he's like, oh, well, that's great. he just heard about it from Kevin Smith. He's like, that's really fun. But he just
No
did the
cell
movie.
phones, bro.
Yeah. He hadn't got the paycheck yet from that, I don't think, obviously, because he hadn't heard about it. But then like he did this movie because he said he just needed the money. But whatever. He seemed like the interviews with him, he seems like he's down on every movie he ever does with Kevin Smith.
Really? Ben
Yeah.
Affleck? Really?
He's just like, this is just seeming like a dumb movie to get asses in seats,
Really?
and then just kind of didn't do anything. You know, like it's kind of weird. He's kind of smug about it.
Really?
That's too
Rubs me
bad.
wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like if he owns a store called The Fashionable Male, I'm assuming that store is not going to last long if that's what they're selling. He looks like complete trash
Yeah,
He
he
looks
does.
in
like
that
an
suit.
idiot. I
It's
wish I could have found like
garbage.
a Henley, because him and TS are both wearing these like big like collared Henleys. Like, I don't know. And then he's got the suit jacket over it, and it's just massive, a massive suit.
He's absolutely swimming in that suit, and I know that was the fashion, but I feel like they went even more overboard. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe they didn't. I mean, because that was sort of a thing.
Yeah.
But my God, he looks like complete trash.
He looks like he's in the Talking Heads. Stop Making Sense. Like the huge ass shoulder pads.
I think it's distracting during fights, as we see later on when he like swings. And it's like Batman's cape, really, is what it is. And he was Batman at one point,
Look
so
at
maybe
that.
that's where kind of got it from.
Did you see that in the intro credits when they're doing the comic books, Ben Affleck's character is presented as Batman.
Oh, wow.
In
Yeah,
the comic
Buttman.
book. Buttman.
Buttman.
And then he went on to be Batman.
Foreshadowing.
Just saying,
Look
little
at that.
foreshadowing.
Elevator sex. Have you guys done it? What do you think about it?
Well, no, but
No,
Highly recommend it.
Never had a
really
chance.
fun.
Oh.
Really fun.
You got to
Just-
get it done real quick, kind
Got
of thing.
to. Yeah. You got to make sure it's really kind of like an abandoned mall almost, or like an elevator in a bar that's weirdly in there.
seems like you don't want to do it then. Seems
Yeah.
like it's always got to be in a place you don't
Well,
want to
that's what's
do
exciting about it, is that
it.
you do want to do it,
You
but
do
it's like
wanna.
there's some threat of maybe getting
I see.
figured out.
You want to get down while you go up?
Yeah. Loving an elevator, man. I fucking hate Aerosmith.
Except for
Sweet Emotion.
Loving
Emotion.
it. Oh, yeah.
except for Dude Look Like a Lady.
Yeah.
I have to make mention of the fashionable male, and then the other stores, Popular Girl.
Yeah.
We talked about rug munchers. There's
Buy me toys.
Yeah, buy me toys. There's another one I saw that it says Burning Flesh Tanning Salon.
What the fuck?
You're just like, I don't know why. It's just so funny that I just like to think of them like sitting like at a table somewhere, just thinking of like, what should we call these stores? Well, who would shop at them? I don't know. Popular Girls. All right, Popular Girl. Well, there's like guys who are trying to be fashionable, like, you know, young males.
Fashionable male.
Yep.
That's got it. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
else?
good.
What else you want?
Well,
Do you guys know how many movies we've done that has Joey Lauren Adams in them? She's getting
3?
up there. She's getting up there. It's 3. We've basically hit the peak of Joey Lauren Adams
Very true.
with our movies. Biodome, Mallrats, Dazed and Confused. She was in like a
Wow.
2-year period. She was just the girl with the interesting voice.
Yeah.
That was sort of the love interest kind of, you know, like I love Joey Lauren Adams. I don't know why.
her presence is it's so strong in the movies that she's in. Anytime she kind of takes over, and it's the way that she talks and expresses herself. And when they give her decent dialogue and everything, it just elevates it. So.
I like when she swears. What the fuck? Like the
Yeah.
first
What the
3
fuck,
times you
yeah?
see her on camera,
Yeah.
she's getting hit by something
Yeah.
or beat up. What the fuck? Yes. She's also got a thing for London Brothers, apparently.
I know.
Sure does.
Right?
Get it?
Yeah. She's ex-boyfriend of Jeremy London in this and current boyfriend of Jason London.
Randall Pink Floyd, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Randall Floyd.
I do like the plans of Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
So they have to pull the pin from the stage, and that's the whole thing pretty much. I love the breakdown, like the blueprints. You know, those are super cool. I think the production manager drew those up or something like that. I love all their foiled attempts, and the floors is great. I think he's based off of the Sundance Butch and Sundance Kid movie with Robert Redford and Paul Newman. Great Western.
Oh yeah.
That is a Western.
Fantastic. Oh good. Cool hand Luke.
There's a bad guy in that called The Floors, and he's got like the same kind of hat.
And
So I
he's
think that's-
he's LaFours
Yeah.
in this movie. Was it LaFleurs?
LaFleurs.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he was also the security guard in Running Man.
You ready for what else he's been in? He's actually been in a lot of movies that we've done.
Has he really? He has.
So
hasn't he?
his name is Sven Ole Thorsen. He won Denmark's Strongest Man competition in 1983. So he was friends with Arnold.
I don't even have to see him to believe that. That
Yeah.
name alone, Sven
Ole Thorsen.
Thorsen.
Gotcha.
So you said he was the cop in Running Man.
Yeah.
His name was Sven in that movie.
Yeah.
He was in T2. He was a mall security guard in T2, uncredited. He was a Russian officer in Predator when the village that they come over upon.
Yes.
Yes,
shit.
uncredited. He was also a mercenary in Lethal Weapon. You see him multiple times in the movie, especially on the beach scene where there's like the standoff in Lethal Weapon. He was in that.
Oh my god.
And probably his most famous role that we have not done, but we will do, Gladiator. He was Tigris, the one that he fights in the final battle inside the Coliseum with the tigers everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We were about to die, salute you. And he pulls the mask down.
That's him?
That's him.
Holy hell.
This guy's been in a ton of movies.
So once we do Gladiator, will he be our most.
That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 6 movies that we've done.
Wow.
We need to start having a chart now of how many times an actor's been in
We
a
got
movie
Rick
that we've done.
DeCumming is up there.
He's up there.
John
man.
Candy's in there.
Yeah.
He might be our number one.
That's great. Unbeknownst to us,
but it's right.
but known to him.
to our stats.
What a stupid fucking hat, though.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. It doesn't make any sense. It's not practical. Come on, guys. If he's gonna run with that hat on, it's lost in the wind. It's gone in the wind. Gone with the wind.
I do have.
If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on.
All right. I hope.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was a little tough for a punchable face in this one, but I had to go with Roddy. Roddy is Svenning's assistant with the mic when he comes in. He goes, "Yeah, very well, sir.
Yes.
Go do it.
Go get me LaFours." It's like right away, sir. Go get it.
He's the one. He's the punchable face. That or maybe suitor number 3 down the road when we
Yeah.
get there. But I think it's
Gil
Roddy.
Hicks.
Gil Hicks.
Gil Hicks.
I agree with you.
That's a tough one.
That's Scott Mosier. That's Kevin Smith's producing partner on Clerks in this.
No shit.
He was supposed to play the role that Ethan Suplee has, but
really?
Ethan Suplee wanted that role, and so he's like, "Well, just play something else." Like, I don't care. So he was that guy.
Wow.
Let me be most punchable face.
Yeah, exactly. His stupid suit and the headset. Oh gosh, it's awful.
Anything else in this scene, boys?
We did talk a little bit about the beat up, right?
We haven't. Let's talk about it.
So like I say, I think that suit is meant for flash and flare because he beats up Brody. Ben Affleck does.
So the movement of it,
yeah,
the flowing of the
and it
suit
it
fabrics.
falls off his shoulder, and he's like, he's doing this move, because he's really cool, and I hate him
because he's really cool.
because he's really cool. I'm surprised nobody. I'm surprised we didn't talk about or nobody took Brody's cup.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You fill us up with Coke, Pepsi, please. No ice. It's like it's a tiny little cup.
Want some of my soda?
Yeah. That's so funny to me. But yeah, he beats up Brody, and then after he was already glowing from the elevator.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
That's pretty funny.
It's like, what the hell happened to you? I
Why
don't
are
know.
you glowing?
Why are you glowing?
I'm not glowing.
That's a great Affleck line there when he texts him there. He's like, "I have no respect for people with no shopping agenda." That's such a nerdy thing to say. But as like you can, as you become more of an adult, you're like, yeah, I mean, like, why are you here if you're not going to buy anything?
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
Dude, don't you have nothing to do? Like, you come here, you buy what you got to buy, and then you leave.
You don't. You've got nothing better to do than just come here and do nothing.
That was the beauty of it, though. Like, yeah, that's
yes,
what you did.
that was the point.
We just took our skateboards and like just walked around, and then like when we were gonna leave, we're like, well, we're gonna skate through the entire mall, and then run from the security guards. Like it was fun. Yeah.
All right, so scene 4. TS has a few conversations with Mr. Svenning to try and convince him that he's a decent enough person to be dating Brandy. It says Brody. But Svenning is totally unconvinced. When Brody joins the conversation and stink palms him right before the mall cops show up to arrest Brody and TS. They are able to escape and go to the flea market for safety. There, they get the advice of a psychic who gives TS the information he needs to get Brandy back. The two return to the mall and reconnect with Jay and Silent Bob to enact a more elaborate plan of revenge. They enlist the help of Trisha to get back at Shannon.
There's a cool oneer here that is kind of underrated. With Micah Rooker arguing with one of the stagehands or something, and like blasts his foot through the stage, gets up, and then TS is talking to him, and they get backstage. It's kind of cool. Like it's a really effective thing, and but this is kind of where you can see also Jeremy London's like not so great because he's like still on the floor. He's like, hey.
Yeah.
He's like waiting for him to get
Just
up,
kinda, yeah.
Hey, get up.
It's unfortunate. He just doesn't know what to do with his hands.
Yeah.
Like the whole movie. He doesn't know what to do with his hands ever. And it's like it's awkward for him to be on camera without having a line or something.
Yeah.
And it's
good call.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Like when they're having the back and forth with Willam even, and he's not really saying anything, but he's like yeah. I don't know. It's like it's just awkward. It's awkward feeling. And And then I don't know. The biggest thing that stands out for me in this whole section is definitely the stink palming, I guess.
Dude, so like it got to me this time.
Yeah, I hate it.
I remember as a kid, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But watching, it's just so genius. Like he like kind of doubles on his hand. He really tries to get it all, and then the melted it got me, man.
He puts that pretzel. Svenning puts that pretzel in his mouth like Ryan Reynolds does a retainer. Like it is amazing.
Dude, that's great.
It's like the way he's eating those, and he just like smears it on. And when he's explaining what a stink palm is to TS, and again, I think this has a lot to say about his delivery of this whole movie. Is, well, you should stink palm him. What do you mean stink palm? He's like, you basically take your hand, and you stick it up down your pants, up your ass, and he's like, no doubt you've been walking around, you're stressed out, no doubt you're all sweaty and stuff, and it's just casual for him.
Yeah,
he's just like,
it's kind of like, what do you mean you don't know what a stink palm is?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're the weird one because you don't know. So I don't know what you're talking about. But again, it's this moment when TS already leaves. And then he's just standing there. He's like,
he's so good. Who as Rooker?
Michael Rooker.
Did you read who the first choice was to play Svenning? It was William Atherton, who was and apparently he turned it down because he felt the film was aimed at a teenage audience. But then yet he did Biodome like a year later. 2 years later, which is even more aimed at
He's the redhead mullet.
Yes.
He couldn't go from Ghostbusters and some other roles to this, but then he realized, well, I haven't done anything in a while.
Let's do Biodome.
I better do Biodome.
Whoops.
Apparently my offers are getting to be like less and less like, I don't know, interesting.
Should have taken that role.
Should have taken that
Three
Mallrats.
podcasters in the future would be talking more about me.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
You wouldn't be in jail right
That's
now.
right. We've got 2 movies with Bill Atherton in it. Oh.
Damn, dude.
There you go.
There was a moment here too, though, where it's funny to look back on these movies where you're supposed to be mad at Svenning. You're supposed to be like, come on, Svenning, let him date your daughter. Like this is they're really in love. Come on. But then you get older, and now I have a daughter, and I'm like, no, this is 100% acceptable.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit. You're not going to date my absolutely gorgeous daughter and bring her down in life.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like now I'm like, yeah, what's wrong? I don't understand what's wrong with this.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah. Humanize the goons here. Svenning, let's be real. Svenning is actually just trying to do his job.
Yes.
He's kind of hanging on for dear life. He's trying to hype himself up in the beginning. He's trying to prep for this big thing. This is a big moment.
That's what he was doing.
This is a big moment for this. Like,
I just thought he did that every day.
Well, and now he's like the woman dropped out, so he has to have his daughter on.
He doesn't
He's even
want
more
that.
stressed. So like he doesn't want her to be distracted by this goon.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, he's like he's. It's not that he wants to peddle his daughter. It's that he has to do this production, otherwise he'll lose his job. So like. Again, I don't think that Svenning is necessarily the bad guy. I think like you're saying, Mike, all of these are warranted thoughts and feelings.
Why are we not going to Florida now? It's like I have to help on my dad. That's bullshit.
This is ridiculous. I wanted to go to the Jaws ride.
I had this whole thing planned. All these things are kaput now.
I thought we were going to Universal Studios. No.
Where's my arm?
You know what? I'm gonna make sure this thing doesn't happen.
And
What the dad ever do to you? Like, yeah, he doesn't like you, but there's a reason for that.
There's a reason.
wait, so TS is the bad guy in all this?
Yes. TS is Dave Morgan, dude.
TS is Dave Morgan. Dude, this is 100% true. All he's doing is just walking around like wacky inflatable tube man and trying to ruin shit.
Wait a minute.
Well, this is my, come on, Brandy. I didn't realize I didn't realize you're such a daddy's girl.
Dude, so TS, her parents hate TS.
Right.
She is not. Brandy is not happy in this relationship.
No.
It sounds like they break up every couple weeks.
I thought we weren't doing this breakup makeup stuff.
She even says later on that she's like, have you ever been unhappy? Yeah, I've been unhappy. Like that answer should be, I'm always happy. He only thinks of himself, clearly, in all of this. He didn't care at all that he had a hand in killing someone.
Yeah. We kind of glossed over that, huh?
By the
TS
way,
killed someone.
this is all his fault. This
TS
whole movie is his fault.
Yeah.
TS is this whole thing's his fault.
My God. Wow.
Fuck this guy.
I think I'm glad we talked about this,
Yeah.
guys. I'm going to be honest with
I
you.
feel like we just went through a session of therapy.
I really feel like we covered some ground here. This is great.
I love a flea market vibe,
Dude.
as much
Totally.
as I do. I mean, like, you know, it's the 30-year-old mall now. Like, oh, secondhand wallets. I
This
love
is
that
great.
shit.
I love going to flea
Have you ever
markets.
been? Has there ever been one around here? Or have
I don't know if there's one like around here,
Let's
but
go to like McGregor.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where I usually went.
there's a couple in like Des Moines, you know, like that. If we're over there, then I'm like, I kind of want to go to this place, but then I feel weird because probably no one else wants to go.
No, dude.
But-
Everybody wants to go. They just don't want to admit they want to go.
See,
And that's why Brody's so cool. Brody's like, no, I go here all the time. He even describes it perfectly. He says, goodbyes, great people, earthy aromas.
the aromas.
That is a perfect description
Yes.
of a flea market.
I love
Genius.
that. I love he also picks up a clerk's hat, puts it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at those tables, like you go to a store in a mall, like gerbils,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the pet store. What's in there? Pets. You go to a table at a flea market, it's like it could be anything.
Could be anything.
It could be
Could
like
be
an old,
everything.
like an old issue, like gun or something. Like, cool, I'm taking this. Like,
Yeah.
it's $2.
Yeah.
It's $2. Will you take one? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care.
I
Just
think
get rid of it.
I think that's the greatest part and the most underrated part is bartering.
Yes.
It is so much fun. I don't know, man. Would you take $4?
I don't know.
It's listed at $4.50. Will you just please
Just pay it.
give me the 50 cents?
No, I need this 50 cents.
I can't, man.
That's why I'm here.
I only got $4. Well, okay.
All right, then.
There is a really cool Jay and Silent Bob moment too, where they foil the arrest
Yes,
and they're
yes.
running away. I never noticed how they run into the back alley around the mall and they're trapped, and they both look in the same direction. They go right up side, like they both do it at the same time.
Yeah.
I had never noticed that before. It's just a subtle detail that didn't need to happen. They
Yeah.
could have just ran into the alley and gone, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
but they and then they
That's
moved
cool.
on.
Yeah.
What does he say? What the shit are we gonna do?
Shit are we gonna do? Everything with Jay and Silent Bob together
Yes,
is a cartoon.
it is.
It's just a cartoon, and I think that's kind of the beauty of it. Like that part. That's exactly what cartoons would do. And then he looks back around the corner. Like it's just a cartoon, man.
Yeah, I love how he speeds up to him as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And he straight up hits a dude with a bat in the back of the head.
I know. That's assault, brother.
Yeah.
to a giant man.
Yeah, I know.
Sven.
Yeah. And then the some of the things, you know what? I guess you just have to get over it at some point. But some of the effects, you can tell it's just like reversed
Yeah.
things, like when they go up the thing and like the repelling gun.
right.
I don't know. Those are little things that I'm just like, well, I'm over it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I don't
whatever.
like this. I'm over it already.
Yeah, exactly.
So we go to the psychic.
Psychic.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's why you go, right? You want to get your future read.
Yeah.
That's why you go to that.
This is your future.
I hope.
This is your future. Yeah, it's like I like the she's like doing a good job kind of like reading these fortunes.
Yeah.
Probably just doing like the general thoughts of like, oh, two young guys come in here, what are they probably gonna girl trouble, blah blah blah. And then it's just like, oh my god. It's like, oh, you have a third nipple. It's like, what are you talking about? It's right there, plain as day.
Staring you in the face.
Well, what I thought was weird is I took it as Brody had been there before.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And that's the way he sells it. But then he's like blown away by the third nipple thing. So he had never been there before.
Maybe he had just heard about it or something.
He was
He's
all
been
talk.
to the flea market plenty of times, it
Yeah.
sounds like. However, maybe he's just never been to the psychic.
That's
Because
true.
he didn't know the money or anything like that.
Yeah, he didn't know anything. Come on, pay her.
Yeah, he's just like,
She's really good in this role too. I
Yeah.
mean, impressive rack.
yeah.
It's a gorgeous set of tits.
Yes, it's what they would call impressive.
Yes.
Impressive. Is she a famous person? Am I dumb here?
Priscilla Barnes.
Yeah,
she's been in some movies. She was actually in The Devil's Rejects as
Okay.
one of the victims in that. She's really good in that. I'm not really sure what else she has done though. But that name sounds super familiar.
That's what I thought too. I kept thinking about it, especially where she's at in the credits and all that good stuff. I'm just like, I don't recognize her. She looks like she'd be like a James Bond girl at some point or another. I don't know.
She's beautiful, and and even from this to Devil's Rejects, she looked like she hasn't aged at all.
She was 43 when that was filmed.
I can't believe it.
43, but they make her to seem a little older. I think you're supposed to think she's maybe a little older.
I don't know.
old for them.
Yeah,
old for 20-year-olds.
What are they? Mid 20s?
They're 20,
early 20s. Yeah,
22, 23 probably.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cool. Final scene, Brody and TS are able to sneak their way onto the game show as contestants where they compete for a date with Brandy. TS is able to win Brandy back with clever answers and the two reconcile on stage. Brody takes the microphone from the host and wins back Renee as Shannon is embarrassed and arrested. Oh my God. Do you think this movie started the idea of MTV Singled Out? Because I looked it up. This movie's 95. Singled Out started in late 1995.
Dude.
I loved that show.
Singled Out.
Jenny McCarthy.
We were kind of talking about some of those old
but that's
dating games and stuff too, I don't know when that, you said it was 95 when that
95
stuff started?
to 98 was MTV Singled Out.
That was a show back in the 70s though too.
Yeah,
it was Matchmaker or something.
Yeah,
I forget.
I think that's they took that and modernized it for the young generation. You know? Gen X. Yeah,
the TS says it right near the beginning. He's like, it's just a rip off of trying to capture 90s, teenagers with 70s nostalgia. Blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you nailed it.
100%.
Smart move.
It's always been like that. I like Stanley.
Yeah,
let's talk about Stanley. Looks like a fucking pimp, man.
That man is a pimp.
His
Good
voice,
Lord.
too.
He's I think he was friends with the casting director Don Phillips, or James Jacks, the producer. And in the script, it was just like and famous comic book writer. He was just gonna make one up and get some random guy to play it. And he's like, well, yeah, it's based on Stan Lee. He's like, why don't you just get Stan Lee? He's like, what? Yeah, why don't you just get Stan Lee?
Stan Lee?
I'll talk to Stan Lee and he'd come on board. And so they did.
That's awesome.
It's just like, the Stan Lee, the maker of all, like basically what you think of when you think of comics.
Yeah, I love the punk guy in the comic book line, and he looks like he's really tough or something, and Brody like goes after him for a second. He's like, "Don't hit me, man! Don't hit me!" And you just see Stan is tattooed on his head. He's got Stan just tattooed on his bald head. But yeah, Stanley is. He is great, and one of the things that kind of bothered me was Brody didn't recognize him at first.
Yeah,
if he's such a massive comic book fan, like that, he actually is.
But this is like pre-internet and stuff like that, where you don't necessarily know what some people look like.
Yeah,
he's not like a out in the public type of a guy, really, right? Stan Lee.
I don't think so.
That's a good point.
I mean,
guess.
Yeah, and
all the Marvel movies weren't coming out yet.
They weren't.
So.
That's Stan Lee.
You can kind of maybe Kevin Smith thinks this, and whatever. But you can kind of credit this movie with like being the first Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah.
Okay.
When that became a thing, because he was all up in those movies. Even Captain Marvel, I think his cameo is him reading the script for Mallrats.
Cool.
Which is really
Is
fun.
that really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. God, that's amazing.
I love when they get onto this game show. Brody, I think it's my favorite part of the movie is Brody's interaction with Gil Hicks, contestant number 3. I think that's the funniest part of this movie. It was also kind of funny too that I noticed this time around when they asked Gil Hicks, suitor number 3, what the first date would be like. He describes what Shannon had already done for Renee. Did you realize that? Renee Renee goes, "We've already done this all on our first day." Yeah. And Gil Hicks says, I'd take you shopping to stores you want to shop
Oh,
in.
yeah.
And then we do a little lunch, probably at the cheese house, followed by some golfing. Then late at night, we'd go to an opera. And, those are the same things
that we were talking about.
That Shannon did. And then Brody is calling him out for being like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like in front of Renee.
Stupidest answer I've ever heard. Just so mad.
It's so good.
He's just such an angry person. And I just love it. How he just wears it on his sleeve like that. He's just screaming at people in their face.
The crowd's laughing so hard,
and they just love it. They're just eating it up. And all of his stuff, all of Gil's answers, he is up there for punchable face, but I think it's just most punchable answers. Because I'd probably take you back home.
Yeah.
Probably go out on the beach, and slow dance all night till the sun came up. It's like
Go out there and make some whoopee.
The hell's Whoopi?
You mean like fucking?
Dude, I forget who it is, but you can see Jay backstage, and someone comes up to him. He's like, "Are you seeing this shit, man? This is fucked up."
Fucked
No,
up.
and he turns around with the punch, like you were saying.
That's one of my favorite deliveries ever.
Fucked up.
Again, one of my favorite lines is from Jason Mewes, and it's like when he like drops down and he sees the other two contestants, and he's like, "Man, if I were you guys, I'd be shitting my pants right now." You kidding? He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, "Of course, man. What if you fuck up?"
It's so good.
What do you suggest, man? Snoochie boochies.
And he like peels it out of his hair.
Nitchy bitches.
Of course, man. What if you fuck up?
Did you guys catch up? Shaun, you might know a little more about this. The theory of Clerks and Mallrats happening within a couple days of each other.
Yes.
One of the cool things that got into that, if you know more about it, was that Brian O'Halloran is Gil Hicks, is contestant number 3, who obviously plays Dante Hicks. That they're trying to say that basically they were brothers.
I think those cousins.
Or cousins or brothers or something like that, which is brilliant to put him in the movie but give him a different name.
Mm-hmm.
But what did they say? So it all ties in with what? The Julie Dwyer, the girl who died of the embolism swimming laps. This incident is referenced in Clerks by Dante and Randall. They went to Julie's wake. The girl that died in this, that TS basically killed, in Clerks, they go to her wake.
Really?
So they're saying that basically Mallrats happened first, where she just died, and then Clerks happened just right after, where they were going to the wake of Julie.
They call it like it's Kevin Smith's like View Askew world.
View
Universe.
Askewniverse.
Yes.
Askewniverse.
Yes. Askewniverse. Yes.
It's really cool, and like if you have that foresight as a filmmaker, where you have like he has his entire world. You know, he's got his what's it, Mubi, the
the cow thing, or
that restaurant or whatever that's in Jane and Silent
Movies.
Bob, and Clerks 2 definitely.
Mm-hmm.
He's got this whole thing, and if you got that kind of vibe, just keep going for it, because it's like you have your audience forever now.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's gonna show up to see. And I haven't seen Clerks 3 yet, but I hear it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's really cool.
Kevin Smith is a comic book guy. He's creating his own comic book universe that he can create all his characters in, just like anything else that's popular now with Marvel Cinematic Universe and DC and all this stuff.
Yeah, you could say he did it before them.
He did it before them with his own characters. It's pretty awesome.
Last thing I got, did you realize the reference of the sex tape from Shannon, from Ben Affleck's character? He says, "Call me Joey, call me Donnie. Please don't go, girl."
He says, "Who's your favorite new kid?"
I never realized that, but he's like, it's all New Kids on the Block reference. Like, please don't go, girls, and New Kids on the Block song. Joey and Donnie were members of New Kids on the Block. It's so grossly weird. I love it.
It's disgusting. I hate it so much.
To add to TS being a dickhead, she's like, "You're here ruining my father's new show, airing all of our business on stage. Yeah, I'd be fucking pissed too.
Yeah, this all makes
you're embarrassing me and my father, who's sick of the shits. And yeah, this is horrible. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And what does he actually do to get her back?
Just say that he loves her, I guess.
Yeah. No, he asked if you'll marry me.
Yeah.
There's no like, hey, I'm really sorry for everything. I really do truly love you. It's just like, yeah, why don't you stop being a bitch and listening to your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marry me.
Yeah.
She's like, okay.
Yeah,
what
good.
the fuck?
No, she's like, yes.
Yes.
I don't know why I don't like that. Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird delivery. It kind of is.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so now you're a homophobe. It's like talking to gay. No, I love gay people. So okay. It's like, no, that's not what I meant.
Not like that. I don't.
It is his back and forth that just kind of keeps us going along, and it distracts you from how big of a piece of shit TS really is.
Really. Thanks,
And,
Brody.
thank you, Brody. And I don't know how they live happily ever after, but
No, they don't make it another.
they don't make it another.
They don't even make it to the altar.
No,
Guaranteed.
Well, they did.
they did. They made
No,
it.
no.
No, it didn't happen.
This didn't. Clearly, this didn't happen. He said that eventually Willam sees the sailboat. You know, like it's still they're like predicting the future. It hasn't happened yet.
Brody takes over on the Tonight Show.
I do like this. What the characters
Yes.
like. Like Days Confused and
So
Fast
good.
Times. Like what they went on to do. It's one of my favorite things in movies.
I love it when this stuff happens. For some reason, Brody becoming that, like popping out in that obnoxious suit and like the hair, it just made me very mad for that character. I was like, I don't know why. That doesn't seem like the right fit for like what this should have been. He should have been like a game show host or something
Yeah.
like that. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, anything else you guys want to talk about on this?
That's it for me.
We have stripped away the nostalgia. We have talked about this movie with a modern eye, taken the rose-colored glasses off. We got to give it a modern-day rating. AJ, let's start with you. What do you think about this movie?
I love Kevin Smith. I think he's done some amazing things. Mallrats, after peeling it back and thinking about, I thought Brody was a super cool person, and then I realized, now looking back on my life, I dressed like him and wanted to say smart things like he sounded and be the master of your own domain. That all being said, there's some humor in here that's really crude, some jokes that just aren't jokes anymore, and some word like a pretty liberal use of some not great words. So that all being said, I'll take that away and say I think it could have been okay without that. I think that I think it's a little bit discombobulated as far as a movie goes, especially for Kevin Smith. I think he's great, and I don't think this is his best show, to be completely honest, of what he can do. So that being said, I think I'm going to give Mallrats a 4.9.
Oh, my God. Sean, what about
Can
you?
you tell me what I gave Wedding Singer?
Oh, do you want to know?
Yeah.
Do you want to know? You really
I
want to know?
really want to know.
That was
what I
pretty
gave
far back in our
Wedding
deal.
Singer.
Okay, Wedding Singer, you gave Wedding Singer a 7.5.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. I for some reason, man, I love this movie, and I love the vibe of it. I love that it takes place in a mall. I love the characters. I love just like it's almost a hangout movie for me. It's a movie for me that I would put on at night if I was like single again and like just in my own apartment. I'd put on and fall asleep to, just a comfort kind of thing. And I will definitely revisit this more and more times because I love it so much. I think it's my favorite Kevin Smith movie.
Cool.
His comedies, I guess. I love Red State. If you guys haven't seen Red State, go watch that. But yeah, what was my nostalgic? Do you have that?
Nostalgic, you gave it a 6.5.
I'm staying right there.
He's staying 6.5 on this. For me, I agree with everything you guys said. Like, it was great when it came out. It's no deniable what Kevin Smith has done and what he's created, and he's created such a fun environment and niche and universe, but ultimately, like, it's not the best movie of the 90s that has to offer. It's great. There's awesome parts. They could have done better on some actors. This to me is the definition of a 7. Like this movie is a 7. It is great, and I will rewatch it, but it is in no way, shape, or form getting into 7.1.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't deserve a 6.9. It's a great movie. It's just a 7. So I'm going to give it a 7.
Fair enough.
Gotcha.
Executive producer Starling says, when thinking about this movie today, I couldn't remember much. I honestly forgot the entire cast minus Shannen Doherty, but remembered there was an inappropriately aged girl doing sexual research, and one of my favorite usable lines to this day, "You dumb bastard, it's not a schooner, it's a sailboat." With a modern day eye, I can see criticisms and acclaim I didn't have almost 30 years ago. For starters, Jason Lee is by far the best actor in this movie. He's extremely funny, which I did know, but I didn't recall him being such a handsome guy who could really act. He outshined Ben Affleck, and now I can't help but wonder if he had hit the gym, could he have had Ryan Reynolds' career? Good thought there. I love movies that take place in one day. The most boring scenes by far are the opening scenes. However, once they get to the mall, it's extremely fast-paced. Each scene lasts for just a few minutes before moving on to the next, kind of like when you go to the mall. That's a great thing. When I finished, I was wondering how you guys were even going to review this movie. It's so fast. The moment Jay and Silent Bob were introduced and Jay was dancing in the pretend mosh pit, I honestly laughed out loud. Practically every scene with them just brought out laughter, and I remembered why I loved this movie so much. My prop would be the schematics that Silent Bob had drawn up, and when I punched the shit out of contestant number 3's face. Good call. My criticisms are that there are scenes where I could see they just said action and Jeremy London just runs in as if he was just out of the line of sight and stepped into the scene.
Yep.
The elevator scene makes absolutely no sense. Renee looks like she's talking to herself and fidgeting to give TS and Shannon time to talk. That's very true. If you look at the elevator scene when Renee and Brody are finished, Renee looks like she's walking down a hallway, not an elevator, which is very true. I try to avoid judging movies and don't mind saying it was a different time, but the Trisha storyline of a 15-year-old sexual anthropologist, I thought that was weird then, and I found it extremely weird now. She served as a character MacGuffin whose only purpose was to see Shannon get arrested.
There you go.
It's very true. The story did not need to have him be arrested. If they wanted to arrest him, they should have just arrested him for wearing a suit 3 times too big with pajama pants and a Henley shirt. That's not even 90s fashion, I remember. Rating this movie today is tough. Its pace reminds me of Scott Pilgrim, and it feels like a precursor to Superbad if Jason Lee had an equal acting partner. That's kind of cool. I feel like I'm supposed to grade this harshly, but I cannot pretend that I didn't thoroughly enjoy it. With that, I'm going to give it a 7. To me, 7 is a movie I would watch again easily if I see it was on or available, but not necessarily go out of my way to look for it. So, a 7 from Starling. That's going to take us to a 6.35 as a group rating. That's going to take us down to, that's going to take us to number 71 on the list. We've getting towards the bottom half.
Damn.
That is just below The Legend of Billie Jean, just above Bloodsport.
Okay.
That's where she's landing.
That's where it's going.
That's where she's landing. Do you think it should be a little higher than that,
I think
Shaun?
it should be a little higher.
Well, that's AJ's fault then.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm sure we've ruined some of his movies before.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you have. Bloodsport. Actually,
I
I probably ruined that.
it could be higher for me too.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, everybody. Thanks for being here. Tune in next week for our Patreon's Choice. They had some mafia movies to choose from, and they chose Goodfellas.
You chose right.
It's going to get crazy. Then we got our monthly bonus episode. We're going to hit that mini bite up. We're going to hit South Park. There's a lot to dive into there. And then following that up with The Better London Brother, Out Cold.
Here we go.
It's going to happen.
Hell yeah.
And if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year, The Matrix.
Got to. Okay? Listen up right now. Go listen to that episode. That was a fun one.
That is a top episode for me. I think that's one of our top
That's
episodes.
where where we realized that the kid on the ship that
Yes.
he was also the one
He
at
was
some
also
point.
the one.
And they called him the little
He's
one.
the little one.
The little one behind you is not.
No, seriously, he's the little one is what we called him.
Oh, Morpheus made some big mistakes.
He really did. And don't forget, we have a voicemail. Call us at 319-804-9596. Leave us some feedback like today's caller.
Hey, this is Alexandra Hemingway calling from San Diego. Just want to say how much I love the show. I've listened to everything you guys have put out. My son the other day was playing, and I just heard the tomato meter come from inside his fort. So, needless to say, we're big fans.
Nice.
Anyway, I was just re-listening to the Santa Claus, and I have to say, I completely agree. Charlie is the worst, but also the actor's not great. My friend met him in college at a party, and all he could do was talk about being in the Santa Claus movie.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, just wanted to thank you for doing what you do, and damn dang it, I just love you guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Alexandra, thank you for calling.
Love
That
you
is
too.
a
Damn, dang
fantastic story.
It's great.
Thank you so much for that.
I expected nothing less than what you
Nope,
just told me.
Yep. It just kind of cements the fact that Charlie is a big old piece of dong.
Yeah. If you go and watch the most recent installment of Santa Claus, it was like a mini series that they did. Charlie is in that for at least one episode. Still awful.
And glad to hear that you're raising your son to be a better human than him.
Yes,
by
absolutely.
screaming the tomato meter from his fort.
You bet. So, hey, thank you so much, Alex Hemingway. And guys, thank you for listening. We are going to get out of here. Thanks so much for listening to the show. Make sure you find us on social media at Confused Breakfast, just about anywhere. Just search for Confused Breakfast on that social media. And for God's sake, leave us a review. 5 stars anywhere you can. And write us a review because we love reading them.
Yeah. Go to confusedbreakfast.com and look at our merch. You can get some shirts. Speaking of Damn Dang It, you can get some Damn Dang It shirts. Get some stuff with our logo on it, some koozies, some coffee mugs, I don't know, sweatshirts and stuff on there.
Mouse pads.
Go to our same damn website, confusedbreakfast.com, and look at our ratings and see where this landed on there, and see where else your other favorite movies have landed for us as well.
You can get patreon.com/confusedbreakfast if you want to be a part of some of these movie votes. There's tons of awesome bonus perks for you there. 90-something hours of audio. We did our year-end in reviews for a few things for movies, music, and stuff like that. So go check it out. This show's produced by LAS Media Group here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We got Agro Craig. Agro meaning aggressive, Craig meaning rock on the controls today.
Yeah. He is our rock.
He is our rock. Check them out if you want more information at lasmediagroup.com. That's going to be it for us. Goodbye.
Snoochie Boochies.
Goodbye.
This is like a pretty good movie.